Ancient Japan. Ancient Japan was built on the core values order, harmony, and self improvement, which guided early history of Japan and continues to be key to success to modern Japan. Land of Rising Sun is steeped in honor and tradition. Believed in mythology, peace, harmony, and Zen were emphasized. Ancient Japan was defended by samurai and shogun warriors. All in all, Japan seems to be a country of paradoxes and oppositions of yin and yang. Let's relive ancient Japan. Japan, the country of rising sun, one of the most prosperous and technologically advanced, full of hardworking, ethical, that live with a mix of old-time traditions and new-age progressive lifestyles. Land of famed and virtuous samurai warriors for whom loyalty is everything, and of legendary and adept ninja assassins capable of bypassing any obstacle. No less famed is Japanese art, unique in its style from haiku songs to breathtaking watercolor paintings, amazingly vivid. Country of Buddhist Zen masters, symbol of moderation and morality. At the same time, culture of geishas, who represented indulgence and entertainment. Japan today is one of the most liberal and democratic countries, yet still has an emperor on the throne and a long tradition of shoguns, who were more or less military dictators. Japanese history and civilizational development, thriving, growing, developing, and leaving an unquestionable mark on the world heritage and mankind. First human habitation in Japanese archaeology traced to prehistoric times around 30,000 BC approximately. Jomon period, meaning straw rope, lasted from 14,000 BCE to 300 BC, refined to 1000 BC recently. Period known for hunter-gatherers and pottery making. Jomon period, cord-mark pottery period, known for earthenware pottery making. People subsisted by hunting, fishing, and pottery making. Earliest vessels were small, round-bottomed, used for boiling and storing food by hunter-gatherers. With passage of time, designs were improved and size increased, sign of settled pattern of living. Clay figurines called dogu were also created. Purpose is unknown. Scholars theorize to be used as effigies or some kind of religious purposes. Genetic mapping shows a pattern of genetic expansion from the area of Sea of Japan towards the west of Eastern Asia. Genetic variation in Eurasia suggests geographical expansion during the Jomon period. Jomon people believed to be ancestors of Ainu people who lived in Hokkaido. Jomon people lived in small communities, mainly in sunken pit dwellings situated near inland rivers or along the sea coast. Yayoi period, meaning early spring. It lasted from 300 BCE to 300 CE. The highlights of the period were rice cultivation, metallurgy, bronze and iron tools, settled agricultural society, tribal warfares, and kingdoms. First millennium BC of new inventions, rice cultivation and metallurgy introduced from Korea and China. Yayoi culture flourished from southern Kyushu to northern Honshu. Farmers, Yayoi people from Korean peninsula, they entered and intermixed with hunter-gatherers, Jomon people. Pottery making, however, continued even in the Yayoi period. Settled agricultural society came into existence. They lived in permanent family villages and constructed buildings with wood and stone. They accumulated wealth through land ownership and storage of grain. They promoted the development of distinct social classes. Yayoi chief in some parts of Kyushu appears to have sponsored and politically manipulated trade in bronze and other prestige objects. Yayoi endowed with bronze and iron weapons tools initially imported from China and Korean peninsula. Period introduced weaving and silk production, new woodworking methods, glass making technology, and architectural styles. Roteco bells smelted from relatively thin bronze and were generally used for decorations in rituals. Japanese population increased as had better standards of health and nutrition in contrast to Jomon period. This change led to stratification of society and tribal warfare. Yayoi tribes gradually coalesced into a number of kingdoms. Chinese Book of Hand completed around 80 to 80 states Japan referred as war and was divided into 100 kingdoms. Chinese Book of History Weizi states that by 240 AD, one powerful kingdom gained ascendancy over others called Zamatai. Zamatai kingdom said to be ruled by female monarch Hamiko. Modern Japanese are genetically more similar to Yayoi people than to Jomon people, though more so in southern Japan than in north, where Ainu people bear significant resemblance to the Jomon. Kofun period, meaning megalithic tombs, lasted from 250 to 538 CE. The highlights of the period were tombs, small burial and power, Zomato clan arose, Chinese and Korean transmission of technology, Buddhism and Chinese writing. Japan unified under one kingdom. Kofun burial mounds were symbol of growing power of the Japanese leaders. Daisnero Kofun was 486-meter long tomb built for Emperor Nintoku. Kofun were often surrounded by and filled with Haniwa clay sculptures in shapes of warriors and horses. Zomato was center of the unified state in Kenai region of central Japan. Rulers of Zomato heredity still reign as world's longest dynasty. Zomato extended power by military conquest, but preferably expanded by convincing local leaders with positions of influence in government, and came to be known as Uzi. Uzi means clan. These leaders sought and received formal diplomatic recognition from China. Chinese records account 5 successive leaders as the 5 kings of war. Craftsmen and scholars from China and the 3 kingdoms of Korea played an important role in transmitting continental technologies and administrative skills to Japan during this period. Buddhism and Chinese writing system was introduced by the end of the Kofun period. Material culture of Kofun period demonstrates that Japan was in close political and economic contact with continental Asia, southern dynasties of China via Korean peninsula. Irrigation, sericulture, and weaving were brought to Japan by Chinese immigrants, Chinese Hatta clan. Zomato clan rose to power in southwestern Japan and established the imperial house, controlled trade routes across the regions. Kofun period and subsequent Ashoka period were collectively called as Zomato period.